Hello. Let's do some math. Yes, because we love math. All right. Today we are on Mission 2, Lesson 5. And our student objective for this lesson is this. Use addition and subtraction to solve multi-step word problems involving length, mass, and capacity. So we're using the skills that we developed throughout this mission. This is the last lesson in this mission. And we're going to use those conversion skills. You know, you're talking about grams, kilograms, milliliters, liters, etc. And the only difference is now we're going to solve multi-step word problems with them. So now we're going to use those skills to solve word problems. And notice that a couple keywords there. We're going to use addition and subtraction. So we might use either one of those. Might use them both. And then multi-step word problems. So multi-step meaning it's going to be more than one step. Okay? So we really need to be organized here, and we really need to give this thought. Get organized and give thought. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually skip to this point of the Tower of Power, because everything else leading up to that is, again, it's just redoing what we already done. It's reiterating what we've already done. So you might get a story problem like this. So this from the Tower, yours is going to be something similar. It's going to be with different numbers, though, or maybe a different scenario. But we have this tape diagram. It says a notebook, a pencil case, and a calculator weigh 700 grams. The notebook weighs 380 grams, and the calculator weighs 245 grams. How much does the pencil case weigh? All right. And then my instructions are to label the tape diagram to represent the problem. So, okay. So the tape diagram is already drawn out for me here. So I see there's a spot for the notebook, a spot for the calculator, a spot for the pencil case. Okay. And then I have this total piece up here. Okay. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to reread the problem. It says a notebook, a pencil case, and a calculator weigh 700 grams total. So I hear that word total. That tells me that this, and this, those three things all together, if I combine them, weigh 700 grams total. Okay. Now, when I have a total of something, I know all those three together go up here. That is my total if I add them all up. And that tells me 700 grams. It says so right there in the problem. So I can label that's the 700 because all three of those together weigh 700 grams. And then it tells me the notebook weighs 380 grams. Okay, so I know, well, notebook weighs 380 grams. And the calculator weighs 245 grams. Just like that. And then it asked me, how much does the pencil case weigh? So how much does the pencil case weigh? I don't know yet. So that's going to be represented by the question mark. And again, that's what I'm going to be trying to solve for that pencil case. Okay, so I labeled them right. All right, now solve on paper, then check your answer on Zern. So how do I solve this? Well, if I am given the total, and then I know that total is made up of three pieces, and I know two of the pieces, and I'm missing that third piece, I'm going to need to use subtraction to do that. Now, normally, if it was just two pieces, and I knew, let's say I knew the total was 700 and it was just the calculator and the pencil case, well, then I would just take my total and I would subtract the calculator part. But it is made up of three parts, so this is why it's a multi-step problem. And I'm going to actually have to use addition and subtraction. Okay, so what steps do I need to take? Well, first, I need to figure out what my two of these three parts here, the notebook and the calculator, are combined. So how do we figure out what they are combined? Well, we are going to, what's that? Did I hear you said it. I heard you say it. Yeah, we need to add them. We need to add 380 plus 245. So let's do that. All right, so we're adding 380 and 245. So I just set that up here. I'm not trying to do it in my head. I'm writing it out. 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 4 is 12. So I need to carry the 1. So I have 3 plus 2 is 5, plus that 1 I carried is 6. 625. And then I went ahead and drew a little tape diagram here. So I just copied essentially what they had here. And I know, again, those two together were 700. When I added the notebook and the calculator, I got 625. So those two together are 625. Now, because what I've basically done then, I've turned those two pieces into one piece. Okay, because I know the total, and I know two of the three pieces, and I would need to find this missing piece. So I would solve that by subtracting. So I take my total, and then I subtract those two pieces which I've already combined to figure out the third piece. So let's do that. So I'm going to have 700 minus 625. All right, now this is that zeros, a lot of zeros here, so we're going to have to borrow and go through the steps. So I'm going to change color here so you can see. Okay, so I can't do, if I look here, I can't do 0 minus 5. Cannot do 0 minus 5, so I need to borrow. So I go here. Well, I can't borrow from that 0 because it's also a 0. So I have to just move to the next step, my next place value, which is the hundreds, okay, which is a 7. I'm going to borrow from that 7, unbundle from it. That 7 becomes a 6, and then I just have to work my way back down. So therefore that 10 becomes, or excuse me, that 0 becomes a 10, and then I borrow from that 10, it becomes a 9, so then I can turn that 0 into a 10. And now I'm all set up to go. And so now I have 10 minus 5 is 5. I have 9 minus 2 is 7. And I have 6 minus 6 is 0. So how much did that pencil case weigh? Is that right? Yeah, how much did the pencil case weigh? 75 grams. 75 grams. And I can check it by, if I go, well, if that was 625 plus 75, it should equal 700. So I'm going to double check it. 625 plus 75. Let's see. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 plus 7 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. 700. So I know I did it right there because I checked by doing addition. So this first one should be 75 for the pencil case. Nice. Thank you, Zern. Okay, but we're not done yet. Yep, keep climbing. That brain needs to get stronger. Okay, so a similar problem here. It says Erica had 7 liters, 655 milliliters of paint in a barrel. So she has paint in a barrel, apparently. She bought 2 liters, 227 milliliters more paint, and poured this in her barrel. So she had paint, she bought more paint, and added it to this barrel of paint she has. The next day, she used 2,125 milliliters of paint. How much paint does Erica have left in the barrel? Okay, so, and we need to first label the tape diagram to represent the problem. All right, so notice they already have it drawn out here. I have the barrel, and I have the used part. Okay, so let's figure out how much was in the barrel. So I'm going to go back, reread the problem. Erica had 7 liters, 655 milliliters of paint in a barrel. So she started with 7 liters, 655 milliliters. Okay. Then it says she bought 2 liters, 227 milliliters more paint and poured this in her barrel. So basically what she did was she had a barrel. Hey, I have a barrel of paint. And she had some paint in it. Okay, so it was filled with some paint here. And then she added more paint to it. So I'm hoping she didn't actually mix the colors. That's just gonna. But then she poured more paint. She poured more paint into that bucket and filled it. So how much more did she add to it? Well, it says she bought 2 liters, 227 milliliters more paint and poured this into a barrel. So 2 liters, 227 more milliliters, poured that into the barrel. Okay. The next day, it says she used 2,125 milliliters of paint. How much paint does Erica have left in the barrel? So she used that much paint. All right. And we want to know how much then is left in the barrel. Okay, because she used that 2,125 milliliters, and then we are trying to figure out, okay, how much is left here? If she took away that much out of the paint barrel, how much is left? You got it. Thanks. I bet it's going to ask me to solve next. Solve on paper, then check your answer on Zoom. So the first thing I want to do is figure out what my barrel total is going to be. Because I want to figure out, okay, what is that barrel altogether? What is the barrel altogether? So I'm going to add 7 liters, 655 milliliters, plus the 2 liters, 227 milliliters. So I'm going to add those two first. And I'm not going to even convert them right now because I don't need to at this point. So I'm going to do 5 plus 7 right here is 12. Carry the 1. 5 plus 2 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. 6 plus 2 is 8. And then 7 plus 2 over here is 9. And then I just need to put back in my labels. So those two together are 9 liters, 882 milliliters. Now let's check back at the problem. So I know that those two together again are 9 liters and 882 milliliters. And I know the part that she dumped out of there, that she poured out, and I need to figure out then how much was left. So if I know that she poured out that much, so she took away that much, 2,125 milliliters, what do we need to do? I'm listening. I just heard you said subtract, right? You said, yes, we need to subtract. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So we need to subtract the 2,125 milliliters from this 9 liters, 882 milliliters. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky because we need to convert. Okay, we need to convert in this case because notice we're using liters and milliliters here, and they just have it all in milliliters for the second part. So we just need to do a little conversion. Okay, the way I'm going to approach this is I'm going to convert 9 liters, 882 milliliters into just milliliters. So I can just be in all milliliters. Okay. As a refresher, how many milliliters are in 1 liter? There are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So that's a pretty easy conversion. So if I have 9 liters, well, that's 9,000 milliliters. So that's 9,000 milliliters plus the 882 that I already had. And so that's just going to be 9,882. I'll draw that here. So there's our 9,882 milliliters, and I need to subtract then the 2,125. Notice, again, this is a multiple step problem, multi-step, meaning I'm having to do different things. I'm having to add, I'm having to subtract, and that's what we're going to have to do. Just trying to keep my thoughts, I have to keep focused. So minus 2,125 milliliters. And I'm going to subtract those now. So can I do 2 minus 5? I cannot do 2 minus 5. I'm going to even change colors here. I cannot do 2 minus 5. So I have to borrow. I'm going to borrow from the 8. The 8 becomes a 7. The 2 becomes a 12. Now let's see. Am I going to be able to do 12 minus 5? Yes. Am I going to be able to do 7 minus 2? Yes. Am I going to be able to do 8 minus 1? Yes. Am I going to be able to do 9 minus 2 in the thousandth place? Yes, I can. Okay, so I'm all set to go now. I can subtract. 12 minus 5 is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5. 8 minus 1 is 7. And 9 minus 2 is 7. Put my comma there, label it. So how much do they have left? Should be 7,757 milliliters. Okay, so 7,757 milliliters. And if I go back to the Zoom problem, it asks me, hey, Erica has how much paint left in the barrel? She has, we said, 7,757 milliliters. Nice! Nice! Guys, I think, oh my gosh, we did it. We did this. We solved it. Good for us. The important part about this lesson is it's going to be multiple steps. You're going to have to add some and then subtract some, or subtract some and then add some. Okay? You need to make sure to write out your work. You need to reread the problem if you don't understand what's going on at first. Okay? That is a skill that you need to interpret what is going on in the problem. And how do you do that? You read it, and then you reread it if you need to, and you go from there, and you start writing out and organizing your thoughts. As always, if you need help, you can just let me or your teacher know.